Hello, my name is Ron Shields, and today I'm going to be talking about the possibility of interstellar space travel. There have been many theories based around interstellar space travel, um, many of which have been revolving around propulsion systems, types of craft needed to travel, ways to help human beings survive the long distance travels, because as of now we have no way to do that. Because the vastness of space is so great. For instance, if we were to travel to the nearest star cluster to our own, being Alpha Centauri, which is only 4.5 light years away, it would take us 75,000 years to get there. So we would long be dead before we got there. So we need much faster craft, much more powerful propulsion systems, um, things such as cryo freezing, uh, basically ways to assist us in getting those long distances. Now, the first thing that needs to be done is to break the light barrier, which is the speed of light. Many scientists theorize that it's impossible to do, which, as of now, it is, since we're still using chemical fuels and fossil fuels to burn for our spacecraft, traveling much too slow. So many scientists are using the Hadron Particle Collider to help their theories in reaching light speed. The Hadron Collider can only reach 99.99% of the light speed, which is the fastest they can get it, but they're working on it. The famed astrophysicist Machio Kaku theorizes that there's 3 separate civilization milestones that have to be achieved before you can even take your first steps out into space. First, second, and third type civilizations. The first civilization is a civilization that has mastered its own planet, meaning hurricanes, typhoons, earthquakes, any type of disaster or energy creating disaster, they can harness it for fuel and power with ease. A second civilization, or type 2 civilization, has the ability to harness the power of a star. They can travel, like in this picture, they can travel to a star, siphon the energy off of it, and use it for power, fuel, any of the like, and even possibly other stars within the immediate vicinity. They've also gained the ability to colonize other planets besides their home planet, other planets within their solar system, and as with the stars, other planets within their immediate vicinity in the galaxy. They haven't quite developed the ability to travel. And like a third type civilization, which is the galactic civilization, which has gained the ability to conquer the entire galaxy or galaxies and use them for power and fuel at will. And a third type galaxy is sometimes theorized as the top tier, as in you can't go any higher than a type 3 civilization. Whether it's there's no need for it or that you just can't. Many scientists theorize that this is as high as you can go. The first propulsion drive that I'd like to talk about is the Vasimir electromagnetic propulsion drive, which uses radio waves to superheat propellant for thrust, which is the second slowest besides fossil fuel. The second would be a nuclear fusion propulsion system, which is similar to the way our sun works, taking 2 atomic particles and smashing them together, releasing an enormous amount of energy, providing thrust for the propulsion system. This is a very dangerous propulsion system, just like the antimatter drive propulsion system, taking a bit of matter and antimatter and colliding them together to create a massive explosion. The only issue with antimatter drives, as well as nuclear fusion drives, is the fact that those drives give off an immense amount of radiation, so scientists would have to develop ways to protect the crew from this harmful radiation. Otherwise, the crew would just obviously die from radiation poisoning before they could even leave the ground. The last one is a warp drive, as science fiction-y as that may sound. A warp drive essentially works as it warps space and time around it. As you can see here, it basically creates a dip in front of the ship with a wave behind it, pushing it forward through space. This drive is obviously very theoretical, but they theorize that this drive could reach light speed or even surpass light speed by far, essentially being able to teleport around the galaxy or galaxies. It's the most powerful drive that any scientist has been able to theorize, and there's been many different types of theories surrounding warp drives, but in essence this is the most powerful one that they could think up of. Much like, as you can see, the Star Wars ships. Lastly, the second largest problem that we have is space debris. So scientists are going to need to figure out a way to protect the ships using force fields or the like, so that way the ship doesn't just get destroyed by hitting a piece of space rock the size of a penny. To conclude, we're getting there. Well, we're still a Type 0 civilization, which doesn't even rank on the list. But as we continue on through the future, we will achieve these civilization types as long as we can work together as a unified race.